This video will contain spoilers. If I sound more emotional than I am, usually in my videos, it's not because of the film. Um, just so that we're clear, I don't want to seem like that guy who cried over the Rise of Skywalker trailer. Um, it's because I've just had a very. It's just been one of those days. What happened was yesterday I went to work, and then uh got changed, picked up my mate. We went to the cinema, and five or six of us seen Deadpool and Wolverine. And the plan was we are gonna go stay at Dylan's house after, like all night. And we're gonna play some Mario Kart. He said to me, I should bring my Joy Cons, but I forgot them. So I said to him in the cinema, like, how serious are you about us playing Mario Kart? Because I can drive back if you want. And he said, I can drive back if I want to. And I said, sure. And I did. I changed my shirt because it was seeming a bit tight. Um, and I had a mate in the car with me because we were going to go get alcohol. And, went to my house, got the Joy Cons, and changed my shirt and all that. Went to Tesco. And when I got out of the car, and I was going to get my wallet and shit, I realised my wallet is. I couldn't find it. Sorry about that. I forgot where it was. Just we went and see Deadpool by Tesco. I couldn't find my wallet, and I phoned my mum and said, did I drop it in the house or something like that? And she couldn't find it. She tore the place apart and couldn't find it. So it was Harry that was in the car. He paid for my stuff. And then we went over to Dylan's, and this is the first time I've done a sleepover like this, and I don't enjoy them, if I'm being honest, because I'm gonna start getting emotional here again. I was at Matthew's last year. I was at Dylan's in December, and then at Dylan's new place yesterday. And it's just the first time I got no sleep whatsoever, and I just slept a bit the following day. The second time I somewhat slept, but it was very uncomfortable. And then the third time I slept for a couple of hours, but it was uncomfortable. And it's just the sleep deprivation just makes me very emotional, I think. And add the stress of me losing my wallet on top of that, I'm a wreck, to be honest. So what happened was, when did Ellen's? We ordered Domino's because, God forbid, we get anything but Domino's. And while we wait on that, they did wrestling moves to each other. And then the Domino's came, we put on shitty TV shows, but we couldn't really settle on anything. Excuse me. We couldn't settle on anything. Then we stopped eating, and we got the Switch out, played like 2 or 3 races in Mario Kart. That was it. Dylan's girlfriend came home. We played a bit of Jackbox. We went for a walk. A couple people got hurt because they fell. A couple of us went on another walk, and then a couple of us went on another walk. At this point, people were starting to go to sleep. Harry, who had injured himself, was asleep. Dylan had gone to bed in his girlfriend's room because they have separate rooms, but I'm not gonna get into that for privacy reasons. I switched about because it was impossible to get somewhere comfortable. The only somewhat comfortable place was the sofa, which Harry was on. Which that's take it, man, you deserve it because that injury he got was not looking good. Um, there were a couple of chairs, but they weren't really that comfortable. Then there was a hardwood floor, which wasn't comfortable. It also doesn't help that my shirt isn't really that flexible, especially if I'm lying on it. Like I don't wear shirts in bed because it's just I toss and turn, and if I'm wearing a shirt or anything like that, it's restricting. I made the mistake of sleeping on the floor. I should have slept on the carpet. Bin Man had decided to take this duvet thing and fold it in half, and I jokingly took it off of him, but it turns out he made it for me, so thank you for that. He stayed up the whole night, which I get the reason for it, but I think it was a mistake because I'm feeling mostly okay now, other than being emotional. Uh, uh, After a while, I went to the. I'm telling the side of order, by the way. Um, After a while, I went to the bathroom. When I got out of the bathroom, I saw that Bin Man was in Dylan's room, and I decided to join him and sat on the bed. But I forgot that he took the mattress off because he was planning on sleeping on the mattress or getting someone else sleeping on the mattress in the living room. Uh, so I went to the floor. Ginger joined us, went on the floor as well. After a while, the three of us decided to go for. Well, Ginger said, "Oh, let's go to my car and listen to some music." And we went to his car, and he turned it on and drove around for a bit. Did fucking circles around a roundabout, which made me feel sick. But I haven't been sick or anything like that. It's sleep deprivation. I didn't overeat. I didn't overdrink. I only had 2 ciders and a beer. Then after that was it. Like the final fucking. We played Heads Up before that. I forgot to mention. When everyone was still awake. But after the drive, Dylan's cousin, who had been sleeping on the mattress, had moved the mattress into Dylan's bedroom and slept there, which fucking genius move from someone who, I'm just gonna be honest, he's not that bright. I guess it's a bit ironic coming from me, but just the fact that him of all people thought of that. But that's when Ben Man made that for me, and I laid lying on it because I thought lying is gonna be more comfortable than sitting on that chair, because when I sit on chairs, I like to have my feet up, whether it be a recliner. Sorry about that. Laid down and went on my phone, but my phone was like 15, so I was like, ah, shit. And I just sort of lay there, and eventually my eyes closed, and it was at 10 to 6, and I thought we were all gonna start waking up at 6 to go to McDonald's because that was sort of a tradition. Thank fuck we didn't, because we did that. Yes, please. Biscoff Sunday. Biscoff Sunday. Biscoff. Yes. No. Oh shit! I didn't realize that I didn't pause the video. Sorry about that. headphone users. This was it. I said this already. The first time we walked from Ginger's house to the McDonald's, and I'll be honest, I blew up his bathroom, and I think it's more the McDonald's than the fucking pizza or the drinks that made me do that. So thank fuck we didn't go that time. So fell asleep at 10 to 6, woke up at like 10 past 7 or 10 past 8. Um, and uh, Harry was awake, and man, he never went to sleep. Um, and I got up, sat in the chair again, went on my phone for a bit, and I think it died. Pretty sure it died. Um, and then I lay down again and fell asleep again. Woke up at like 9, I think. That man, once again, didn't go to sleep. Harry was asleep. Everyone else was asleep. I needed the piss. I needed the shit. I was going to hold the shit in, but I don't mind pissing at other people's houses. But um, Ginger was sleeping in the fucking bathtub, and I'd rather not do my business in front of him. Eventually, Harry woke up, and Dylan's cousin woke up, and Bin Man had said that, Dylan had said to Bin Man that when everyone else is awake, to phone him, they get him to wake up. And he did phone him a couple times, didn't answer. It's me. So we just waited on him and Ginger waking up. And eventually they did. And, we cleaned up. And I left Min Man. I drove him home. And I went to the cinema to see if they had my wallet. And they were open. I waited like 10, 15 minutes, still weren't open. Went home. My mum called around and they just didn't have anything in the last find. I called Tesco to ask if they had it. They didn't. Okay, sorry about that. I just need to calm myself down. Because I don't want to make this. I'm like grand, especially when I grand on gallery. It seems like a pussy move. And I just want to make this video not as long as it could be. Anyway, so couldn't they? They didn't have it. Tesco didn't have it. I went home for a bit. Just sort of did basically what I was doing at Dylan's if my phone wasn't dying, which was just looking at fucking memes. And then I went to play a bit of Yakuza, but my controller fucked up. And I was like, fuck it, I'll go to my grandma's house now and watch Criminal Minds. And that's what I did. I slept a bit because, I'll be honest, I'm finding the show a bit boring. I think it's because we've been watching it for quite a while now. Then came home. I screamed in the car on the drive home because I just want to get the emotions out. But then I cried, like, basically, as soon as I got to my room. And then I genuinely did cry, like, when I paused the video earlier. But I'm gonna go into the review now. Deadpool and Wolverine. Universally positive ratings. I watched it in cinema, directed by Sean Levy, starring Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, Daphne Keane, Miranda Baccarin, Blake Lively. I'll get into Blake Lively later. Ray Hildebrand, Jennifer Garner, Matthew McFadden, Tara Strong's not appearing in it. DJ Miller's not appearing in it. I've heard that Rob McElhenney appears in it. I assume he's a Deadpool variant. I'm not sure. Rob Delaney, excuse me. Excuse me. Channing Tatum, Chris Hemsworth. I didn't know that Nathan Fillion played one of the Wades. Jon Favreau, the taxi driver from the first two films. Nibble my nose. I fucking loved it. Like, and I think I was talking to Ben Man about this when we were the only people awake. Like he quite enjoyed it, but just there was a lot of things he didn't get because he's not really the biggest fan. He doesn't hate Marvel or anything like that. It's just he doesn't like go out and do research about shit, and he doesn't watch much outside the MCU. So he didn't know who like Elektra was, and then obviously Chris Evans is also in this as Human Torch. So first off, I want to talk about the director. I didn't mind anything with the cinematography in this, other than the fight scene with X-23, Elektra, Blade. I think there was some Gambit. It was a bit too shaky. It was hard to tell what was going on. Other than that, no problem with cinematography. But just, I don't like the fact that they got Sean Levy because he's the guy that, I'm pretty sure he directed Free Guy. I know he definitely did the Adam Project, and I don't like the fact that they got someone who just makes Ryan Reynolds films, if you know what I mean. Because outside of Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds doesn't really do a lot of good things, to be honest. And as for the like plot, I'm glad that they've admitted that they know that they're like fucking literally digging up Logan's grave. And it still is quite disrespectful, but it's the thing is that if Hugh Jackman wants to continue doing Wolverine, then all the power to him. But like, I read that he felt that this was right, even though he was planning on having Logan be the end, which was the whole point of the film. And to be honest, I'm surprised they did it with him. I thought they were going to do it with Iron Man, where, you know, I know they're bringing Robert Downey Jr. back as Doctor Doom, but what I thought they were going to do is that they're going to get really desperate like they are now, and they'll bring back Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, but it'll be Iron Man from a different Earth, and he'll appear in something, say Avengers, and he'd be like, I like you guys, I'll stay on this Earth, and then it's basically like, his sacrifice in Endgame was for nothing, which him being cast as Doctor Doom, I would say it doesn't ruin it as much as him coming back as Iron Man, but it is cheap. But that's not Deadpool and Wolverine. That's something else. So let's go back to this. Like, it's inevitable that we're gonna get X-Men and Wolverine in the MCU. I just didn't know it was gonna be Hugh Jackman Wolverine. Like, I heard about possibly Daniel Radcliffe, but that didn't happen. And it's I do get I'm conflicted because it is quite disrespectful to Logan, but at the same time, that's how the fucking multiverse works. Because it's not like it's the same version of Wolverine, you know. And let's be honest, getting Hugh Jackman back, really, what difference does that make than getting someone else? Because say that this film they got, say, Daniel Radcliffe or Henry Cavill is in this as Wolverine as well. Um, say they got one of those two as Wolverine, as the Wolverine in this. I don't. People wouldn't like say, "Oh, it's disrespectful to Logan" or anything like that. So it's just it's the way that I'm seeing it as a comics fan, because that's just how they do it in the comics. Which I'm not saying that just because it happens in the comics that automatically means it's good. It's just I was expecting it. Anyway, um, the cameos in this I fucking loved, especially since quite a few of them were both ones I didn't know about. The only one I knew about really was Blake Lively, who I'll get into her now. I'm assuming that it was Marvel had intentionally spread rumors that it was going to be Taylor Swift, but if you're not going to show who Lady Deadpool is, because she doesn't take her mask off in the film, and they don't give her credit, so I don't get the point of saying, "Oh, it's Taylor Swift." It isn't. This is going to sound so perverted, but not seeing body, and someone had actually like made a comparison of Blake Lively's body to the Lady Deadpool. Um, I just don't get why they're going to be so secret about it if they're not going to even fucking show it in film. Whether it be her taking the mask off or just having her name in the credits. Anyway, but the other ones I fucking love, Chris Evans as Human Torch, Wesley Snipes Blade, Jennifer Garner Elektra, Channing Tatum Gambit. They were all great because they're kind of like that idea of like these universes are dead. Like we're not getting, Anne Crawford, Fantastic Four free. We're not getting, excuse me, Jennifer Garner Elektra 2, and we're not getting the Channing Tatum Gambit movie. So I do like the idea that they killed them off like that, and also the fact that they did, the fact that like that, and I get that Taylor Kitsch played Gambit in X Men Origins Wolverine, but it was one scene, and from what I remember, it wasn't accurate to the comics. Channing Tatum was great. Like even with the accent, it's so hard to tell what he's saying, but that's part of the fun of it. Like I knew that Channing Tatum had wanted to play Gambit for a long time, but looking at it from like a producer's perspective, I don't get why the producers would want to get him specifically. I get it now. He is so good as that role. Um, I don't like the fact that actually I'll say something else first. I like that they, well, I'm conflicted. It depends on what specific thing it is. Just all the fourth wall breaks, poking fun at things like how the multiverse saga hasn't been going well, all the stuff to do with the Fox buyout, stuff like that. Um, they're going to do all that, and then they said that the MCU takes place on Earth 616 when it isn't. And I think this is Kevin Feige's doing. Like he's so adamant that it takes place in 616 when it just doesn't, unless they're gonna do it like it's a separate multiverse. Which, I mean, sure, if you want, but I just think it would be less complicated to have it as one multiverse instead of two. I should have predicted Chris Evans coming back as Human Torch because I had seen him say a while back that it would be easier to get him to come back as Human Torch than it would to get him come back as Captain America. And when I seen him appear, I was like, "Oh yeah, we got it's fucking Human Torch." But then they did that fake out where he had like his arm out, and then it was like looking kind of like Captain America, and they played like a Captain America esque theme. I was like, "What? Why he's Captain America?" But then he decided to flame on. I was like, "Oh, okay." Me being smart about things made me dumb about things. If that makes sense. If the whole point of this film is to sort of bring Deadpool and by extension Wolverine into the MCU, why would you kill them off? And also the fact that they came like, right, killing Deadpool off, as long as you're not gonna actually bring him into the MCU, that's fine. You'll complete trilogy, give him like a good ending. But to bring him back just like that, like I knew obviously they're gonna bring him back. I didn't know how they're gonna bring him back, but that is the most lazy way they could have brought him back. Like it's fucking Star Wars. Somehow he survived. Fuck off. I don't like the fact that they have that scene with Wolverine and X-23. They're talking about all the shit he's done, and then the fact he sacrifices himself, and we're supposed to feel like emotional about it when we don't know this version of Logan. Like this isn't the Logan we know. So why do we care? I think there was like one more thing to talk about. Unless I missed something, why would you show footage like the credits? They show footage from behind the scenes of the X-Men films and the Fantastic Four films, including Fantastic Four 2015, even though, as far as I know, this film had nothing to do with that.